I'm going to show you a couple tips for practicing Bakasana or learning Bakasana, crow pose. So take the hands behind you in Bakasana to open up the hips. Soles of the feet together. Try to sit tall and forward on your sit bones. And if you can bend forward, start to bend forward. Maybe grabbing the feet, maybe pulling the big toe side of the feet apart. Just let your back, your lower back, your hips, your inner groins stretch out. And then bring the knees together, the feet down, and come into a standing forward bend. Just hang forward. You can bend the knees, you can grab the elbows or put your hands on a block. Stretch out your lower back and just sway a little bit. Maybe turn the head side to side. And then take the hands down to the floor. A little more space between the feet. And try to come down into a squat. And then straighten. Just a couple like that. Just warming out the back and the inner groins and the hips. Trying the best you can to keep your heels down. So just go as far as you can go at first with the heels down. And then come on into a squat. So at this point for the squat, you might want to have a block to sit on. Another option, if you can do the squat without the block, but the heels want to come off the floor, you could roll up a blanket and put it under your heels. So there's a couple ways to help you hold the squat. Press the arms gently into the inner legs. Push the knees open, drop the tailbone down, lift the chest up. You're trying to stretch out the hamstrings and the hips and the lower back. So the higher up your knees you can get, the higher up the arms you can get the knees, the easier the crow pose is. So here we're trying to get some flexibility in the back and the hamstrings and the hips. And then walk the hands forward in the squat. And push your dog out of the way. Just let the back stretch out, the lower back and hamstrings. And then squeeze the outer shoulders with the knees. So get the knees as high up the arms as you can. Lift your heels up. Keep the knees attached to the outer shoulder and lean a little forward. Now start to engage your core. You might take one foot off, play with that, do the other foot. You might take a baby little hop. If you're intimidated and afraid of falling forward, grab a blanket or even a pillow and put it in front of you. So leaning forward, maybe you'll float both feet up, eventually doing Bakasana crow pose. You could also grab a hold of a block and put your feet on the block so that you're closer to the finished pose, even if you can't yet get the feet off of the mat. And start to engage your core. So maybe from there you can take the feet up, the toes up, and balance. Now once you can balance, I'm going to have to move her for this. You can practice jumping back into chaturanga. So when you move from Bakasana crow pose to chaturanga, you actually bring your chest forward as opposed to just jumping back. So once you get balancing, pull the heels in towards the sit bones, look forward. Shoot the legs back, but bring the chest forward. Like that. If you only jump back, you'll end up like this, kind of stuck, right? So there, my weight was back. There was nowhere for me to go. But I'll do that one more time. Instead of jumping back, it's kind of dropping down. So from crow pose, bring your face forward into chaturanga. Happy practicing. Namaste.